The haunted ADAKU. In a distant time past beyond the memory of many alive today, in a beautiful, peaceful, prosperous village in the heart of Africa, there lived a young woman named ADAKU. ADAKU was known for her extreme beauty, kindness, and contagious grace. She was loved instantly by anyone who crossed paths with her. Unfortunately, ADAKU carried a secret burden, one that weighed heavily on her soul. It was said that the gods can be unfair to seemingly harmless souls. This was true in Adaku's case. She was extremely cautious about how she lived and had never intentionally offended anyone. Be that as it may, life had a disappointment for her. Her nights were tormented by vivid dreams. One could call them nightmares. In these dreams, a mysterious man often visited her. His eyes glowed with supernatural light, and his touch left a cold, lingering sensation, even in tropical African nights. He called himself Ikemba, the spirit husband. Adako had never seen him in waking life, but he haunted her dreams relentlessly. She would always be sleepy during daytime, since Ikemba haunted her sleep almost all nights. As Adako grew older, suitors came from neighboring villages seeking her hand in marriage. Yet, tragedy struck each time. Terrible things would happen to these men. The men who courted her would fall mysteriously ill, their strength sapped away until they are declared dead. The villagers whispered that Adako was cursed, that her beauty was a deadly trap to kill men. She would cry her eyes out with rivers of tears, wondering what she did to anyone to deserve that kind of ill fate. She decided she had to do something to rid herself of the misfortune and get the best out of her remaining life. Desperate to break the circle, Adako sought the counsel of the village priestess, Nneka. Nneka was wise, her eyes reflecting the knowledge of the generations. Adako poured her weary heart out to the priestess, knowing that she would reverse the ugly trend her life had descended into. Nneka listened to Adako's tale and nodded solemnly, placing her fingers on the cause as well as the possible remedy to this unfortunate situation. She smiled. Adako's face said something about confusion. How could this woman smile at something that served as a predicament for her in the antecedent years? Something inside reassured and calmed her to trust the priestess' hunch. She felt a temporary relief and relaxed, looking on and waiting on the priestess. "Child," Nneka said, "you are bound to Ikemba. He desires your soul and he takes it through the men who seek your love. They have been paying your price all the while. He has been angry because your soul is beyond his reach. However, there is hope. Just make yourself strong. Muster up your strength. You must journey to the sacred waterfall at the edge of the forest. There you will find the path to your redemption." Adako nodded her head in agreement with the priestess. Adako followed Nneka's instruction. She set out on a journey she had never imagined embarking on in her entire life. Well, she walked through dense foliage, the air thick with ancient magic, the waterfall road, its mist dancing in the sunlight. She had heard of the waterfall, but had never been there in person. The fall was so high above her that she almost could not see its roof. It towered so high, almost touching the skies. Amazed by this supernatural wonder, Adako stepped into the water, its icy embrace shocking her senses. She had never felt cold run down her spine before. Even under the rushing water, she could feel goosebumps on her skin. She closed her eyes and whispered a prayer just as the priestess had instructed her. She prayed the spirit to summon Ikemba before her. Suddenly and sure enough, Ikemba materialized before her. His eyes bored into hers, and she felt the weight of centuries in his gaze. She had never seen him in daytime before, and now that she could see him in daytime, it was not under normal circumstances. Still, it was daytime enough for her. "Why do you resist me, Adako?" He hissed. "I have loved you across lifetimes. He told her how their path had crossed in previous lives and how she turned down his advances and he was embittered and could kill the entire human folk just so he could be with her. He tried to persuade her to accept his offer and remain unmarried. He would be her man, he promised. He promised to make her wealthy and influential. She could just wish for anything and it was at her disposal. Men would serve her and be at her beck and call only if she agreed to remain unmarried. ADAKU refused. That was a cause as far as she was concerned. She would never let that happen. She wanted him to let her be. Regardless of his insistence, ADAKU stood her ground. "I seek redemption," she said. "Release me from this curse." Ikemba's laughter echoed through the forest. "Redemption? You think it's that simple? You must prove your worth." He set 3 tasks before her. The first task is the fire of truth. ADAKU had to walk barefoot across burning coals, revealing her innermost secrets. Only then would she be free of deception. The second task is the garden of regret. In a hidden open grass field, ADAKU found a garden of withered flowers. Each bloom represented a lost love. She had to nurture them back to life, proving her capacity for healing. The third one is the mirror of forgiveness. ADAKU faced the mirror that reflected her soul. She saw the pain she had caused, the life she cut short to redeem herself. She had to forgive herself and release the burden of guilt. ADAKU completed the task, her determination unwavering. As she emerged from the forest, Ikemba awaited her. "You have surprised me," he said. "Your heart is stronger than I imagined." He touched her forehead and ADAKU felt a rush of warmth. The curse lifted and Ikemba disappeared like morning mist. ADAKU returned to the village, her spirit renewed. The suitors returned, but this time they thrived. ADAKU chose a kind-hearted man named Odinkalo, and they married under the African sun. Their love blossomed and ADAKU's nights were no longer haunted. She became a healer, tending to the sick and wounded. The villagers marveled at her gifts, unaware of the price she had to pay for redemption. ADAKU knew that her past was a lesson, a reminder that even darkness could be transformed into light. And so, the tale of ADAKU spread across the land, a testament to courage, forgiveness, and the power of redemption. Her spirit husband was gone, with only memories remaining, a shadow in the depths of the sacred waterfall. That is the end of our story. We hope you enjoyed it. You can share to your family and friends, and also subscribe and turn on your notifications.